He's small, but mighty. Derp just wants to live a peaceful life in a humble home with a great backyard, but the world has other plans. An unexplainable twist of fate makes Derp's backyard a magnet for monsters of every shape and size, and all of them want a Derp sandwich. Derp has no choice but to fight back with anything at his disposal. A whisk, a cookie, a tinfoil hat. Each deck contains 77 cards, a 6-sided die, and a card clip. Everything for the one-player game. Or use one of the special blank cards to draw Derp a friend for a cooperative or competitive 2-player game. What are you waiting for? Charge into Derp's backyard and stop the madness. Hi everyone, I'm Maxwell here DeMarco, and today I'm going to show you how to play Derp's Backyard. Derp's Backyard comes with everything you see right here. 77 cards, a card clip, a 6-sided die, all packed in a waterproof case. Though these instruction cards do come with the game, let's talk about some of the cards right now. First up, we've got blank cards, special cards, event cards, all the cards that let Derp actually fight back, terrain cards, monster cards, Derp himself, and Derp's home. Right off the bat, this is how your deck comes. And the first thing you're going to want to do is unpack your actual deck. Set aside the cards for now, unpack the card clip, dice, and all the instructional cards. Then, locate the 4 blank cards, Derp, and Derp's house, set them like so. And now that those are separated from the other cards, it's time to make Derp's actual yard. Derp's Backyard is primarily a single-player game, however, it can be played with up to 2 people cooperatively or competitively. At the end of this video, we'll go a bit more in depth about that. When actually building Derp's Backyard, you should use yard cards. What yard cards basically are all the cards left over after you've separated the 4 blank cards, Derp and Derp's house. After you've shuffled the yard cards, lay them down in 3 rows with 5 stacks each. Each stack should have 4 to 5 cards each. And make sure that the cards are face down the whole time. No peeking. Once you've got your yard all set up, place the home card adjacent to any card on the outer edge of the yard. So it could be here, or let's just say here for this game. Next up, attach the card clip to Derp. I like to put it on the bottom like this, and place Derp at his house. Then you're going to roll the d6 to see how many spaces Derp can move this turn. Okay, 2. You can move horizontally or vertically, but you can never move diagonally. Then, once you land on a space, flip up the top card to see what you got. Alright, good first move. We've got a terrain card, water specifically. If you get a terrain card, then that means you will not draw from this stack ever again, and Derp is safe for the moment. He's got a nice little pond in his backyard now. You can also get a cobblestone, regular dirt, and sand. I guess Derp has a sandbox. And of course grass, but that's boring. Since we got a terrain card, and all the terrain cards do act the same, nothing happens this turn and we just roll again. Alright, I got a 4, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, we've got an event card this time. Every event card is different, so in this case, you should just follow the instructions on each card. In this case, we got a nap attack. So sleepy. Derp returns home to take a power nap. So we just move Derp home. And that is rather unfortunate because the game isn't over until every stack is safe. So I have to head out all over again. Once you've used an event card, simply discard it back into the card case. Alright, so let's roll again. Number 2. So let's go over here this time. Oh, it's a special card. There's only 2 of these in the entire game. This one is TNT, the other one is Bomb. Now you can choose to use them immediately, or you can save them for later, in which case you put them down face up and just in front of you away from the main yard. With a bomb, you can choose to blow up any monster card that is visible on the map. With TNT, you can choose to blow up any one stack. Anything that's blown up in either of these instances is discarded and returned to the card case. In this case, it's actually pretty fortunate that we got TNT instead of a bomb, as there are no actual monsters on the yard right now. But since we have TNT, why don't we just blow up a whole stack? So, place it there, and just remove that whole stack. Back to the card case you go. Alright, once more, we roll again, and we got a 2. So I'll just move over here, look over the massive crater I've left with my TNT, and I should note that Once a stack is gone, you cannot walk on that space again. So try not to destroy the stack adjacent to your house, otherwise you won't be able to get back. Because remember, Derp cannot move diagonally. Whew. Okay, looks like we got some gear before we even found a single monster. When you turn over a gear card, you clip it over Derp like so, and now it is equipped. You can think of gear as basically Derp's HP or his defense points in a way. This allows him to take one hit from a monster without the game ending. In this case, Derp found a cookie. Not the most conventional piece of armor, but I think Derp knows how to make it work. We got a 1 this time. Oh, looks like we have our first monster right on schedule. We've got a witch. Now, let's ignore these little green numbers for the time being, because that's not important in a fight, and right now we are fighting this monster. What's important right now is the red text, which tells us how to defeat the monster, and Derp always goes first in a fight. So, like the card says, roll any even number to defeat the witch. Alright, we got 2, which means we simply discard the witch and place her back in the card case. If I had rolled an odd number, then Derp would have lost his cookie, and I would have had to discard that card, plus I would have had to put Derp back at his house. If Derp had no gear, then he would have passed out and the game would be over. So it's definitely a good thing that we got this cookie. 3. Looks like we got another monster. It's a ghost. Once more, roll any even number to defeat it. Ooh, okay, I got a 5. So, as I said, remove the cookie from Derp. And when you attack, you can only lose 1 gear at a time. It'll never be more than 1. Place it back in the card case, or discard it, and Derp goes home. However, the ghost now stays here on the board. And now it's time to talk about these green numbers. If a monster is left undefeated at the end of Derp's turn, then it actually gets to move before you roll again. Basically, these green numbers represent 3 stacks that the monster can jump to. So each of these stacks has a number, and as you might recall, there are 15 stacks. Number 1 is in your top left. So 1 would be right here, and then 15 would be right here on your bottom right of the yard. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. As this ghost's first number is 11, basically he's going to jump to 11 first and then cycle through each space he can go to. So let's just put him on stack number 11. Looks like that pond isn't so safe anymore now, is it? And while we're on the subject, if you've blown up an entire stack with TNT, or if you've cleared one of the stacks ahead of time, if a monster tries to jump to that space, then they'll have to simply skip that number and move on to the next green number on the card. Now that the monster's moved, it's our turn to move again. Alright, so I've got a 2. Now, I could go like this and ignore the monster completely, or I could jump from here right to the monster and have a little rematch. If you roll a number bigger than the amount needed to reach a monster and you decide to fight the monster, you forfeit those extra moves. You don't get to move again once the monster's defeated. But I think that Derp is not going to fight the ghost this time as he does not have any gear. So before we go back to him, let's look around a little bit. Alright, looks like we have a unicorn. Now, just because it looks a little different than a cookie, all gear cards, once again, do act the same. So this will basically give Derp 1 life point. The goal of the game is to make every stack safe by having a terrain card be on top of it. Of course, not all stacks have terrain cards. In the case of those, just play until that stack is completely cleared. Derp can carry as many gear cards as you can find, and we've tested. This clip can hold them all, and every single one counts as 1 health point, or life point, if you will. And once again, each monster can only take away 1 at a time. Now, let's say the final card in a stack was a monster card and you defeat it, but now you're left in the middle of nowhere. Or maybe you're just completely stuck because Derp can't move diagonally and there's 2 empty spaces on each side of you. In this case, Derp can simply just jump back to his house, but that does use up a turn. And of course, because jumping back home uses up a turn, that means the monsters are free to roam again. Now, what if you are in a situation like this, where your house is now separated from the main yard? Well, in this case, basically just move the house clockwise around the board until it's adjacent to a card that can connect back to the majority of the yard. By default, Derp is a 1-player game. However, if you want to play with another person, then you can use one of these blank cards, which are included if you want to make your own terrain, monster, gear, etc., and draw a little friend for Derp. If you want to play cooperatively, then each of you will take turns moving your respective characters around the board. You both start at Derp's house because that's where you live, and you work together to make the yard safe. If you'd rather play competitively, then a similar rule set applies. You both start at Derp's house and you both take turns, but in this case, whoever can defeat the most monsters wins. So if you play this way, make sure that any monsters you defeat are kept in front of you where everyone can see them, and count them at the end of the game. And of course, if you're going to play with a friend, make sure that before the game starts, you determine which stack is stack 1, so you know how to move the monsters accordingly. Anyways, that's it for this video. Thank you for learning Derp's Backyard with us. You can pick up this game in the description below, or if you have any questions that you don't think were covered in this video, leave a comment and we'll answer you personally. Thanks for watching, you guys, and if you don't mind, I'm going to finish up this game real quick.